what we're looking at here is an older building with a brick wainscoting, let's call it, and a wood-sided wall. And it's just plywood with some, looks like some 1x2s nailed on them. But the point of the video is this metal. There is a gap between the bottom of the metal and the top of the brick, and this might not seem like that big of a deal if there is enough ventilation behind the brick or the wall. So let's just say you've got on the other side of this wall, it's open. Then you might not have as big of a problem as you would if it was drywalled or sealed in some way. Here's what happens. And you can see there's a nice hole here, that's going to allow water to get behind the brick. So I do have a suggestion, but this suggestion might not work all the time. If I was building something like this new, I would have extended the metal or found a piece of metal that went a little farther past the brick. Then you probably wouldn't have needed to caulk underneath it. Now that is the solution to something like this, is just to put a nice bead of caulking underneath the bottom of the metal and on top of the brick. Now this at least will prevent the water from rolling back into holes like these and just saturating the area behind the brick and the wall framing. Now if you have something like this and it isn't wood framed, then it might not be as big of a problem. But if you do have a building that is wood framed and has wood siding on it with a piece of L metal like this on top of a brick wainscoting, then areas like these could be a big problem. Now before I end this video, I have got to point one more thing out, and this is critical. You cannot caulk the area between the L metal and the wood siding. Where the arrow is pointing here, you cannot run a bead of caulking there, because what would end up happening is any moisture that went behind the plywood, for whatever reason, any moisture that got behind the plywood, there should be a protective layer of either building paper or some type of building wrap, which would allow any moisture that got behind the wood siding to roll down the siding or on the top of on the front side of the protective paper, and then down to the metal, and then safely out of the wall. Now if you caulked this area, you would trap all of that water, so that wouldn't be a good thing. So make sure that you know what to caulk and what not to caulk, otherwise you're going to create more problems than you ever imagined.